Are you dying on me?
I don't know what's going on.
Brent's not here, so I need you to breathe.
So the thing is, Babs, I don't even eat when we're doing the show. I usually get here early enough to eat, but
Yeah.
I just snuck a tater tot. And the tater tot is really good, but it kind of crumbled and went down my throat before I chewed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just that little bitty piece. That's probably microscopic size.
Ooh.
And I just choked. But it's so good.
Man, those
I don't
tater
mind
tots
choking.
are so good.
Oh, my gosh.
They're
Exactly.
good. Come on out. You can get some tater tots, too. I'm actually excited about our player today. I mean, I'm always excited about our players because they're phenomenal, and I love that they take the time to come out during the season to meet the fans and to take pictures and sign autographs and say hi to everybody.
Right.
Because we know this season is a grind. But Chester Rogers is going to join us today. And he has, so I feel like not a lot of people know kind of the backstory or know a whole lot about Chester Rogers, right? I mean, you know, he was undrafted. You know, he played for the Colts for a while. You know, he was on the practice squad last year. You know, he has certainly grown and made moves and has become a staple, a trustworthy weapon, all of that for this Titans team now. But he's from Huntsville, Alabama, but he was a child actor.
Yeah.
Like back in the day.
Oh, we got to get into all
So there's
of that.
there's some fun stuff like behind the scenes that we'll go over with Chester, and then of course we'll get his take on that wide receivers room, what they're doing right now, Ryan Tannehill's doing, what Julio brings to the room. That's because we've talked about it. We talked about it yesterday a little bit.
Yes, we did.
Because who compared Julio to Odell?
Who was it?
Oh, a caller did. Called in and said, "Is Julio like an is Julio like an Odell kind of addition?" To which Hunk said no, because
locker room,
he's different
everything
for the locker room. And so we'll hit Chester on what he means to that wide receivers room and all of that. So come on out. That's coming up. He will be with us starting at 5 o'clock. What else do we have? We've got Jimmy Wyatt at 3:45.
Yes, we do. We get to dive into the mailbag, see exactly what's going on around Titans, the locker room, the game, the scheme, how they're getting ready. We get to see everything with Jim Wyatt.
Yes, and then your guy.
My favorite part.
Yes, Alan Bell will join us at 4:20, and we'll head into some of these games, which, by the way, if you look at some of these college football games this weekend, too, as well, like ESPN is kind of selling this as, like,
the weekend.
A really big weekend because this is it's Statement Saturday is what ESPN's calling it, because this is the last weekend of games before that first college football playoff poll comes out.
Right.
There's still a host of unbeaten teams.
Yep.
And some of them, I mean, obviously some of them you can question and say, we'll see how long they will stay unbeaten. But there's still a pretty significant list of unbeaten teams. There's some prominent one-loss teams.
Yep.
And how is that all going to play out with the college football playoff and the first rankings that come out? This is the last week of the AP rankings where that's all we see. And so this is kind of the last week and last game weekend for those teams, especially with add some style points and stay in the mix and in the conversation, obviously, for the college football playoff. Yeah.
Even though we're in the South, Big Ten is flying under the radar a little bit, so.
Big Ten. Hey, I've worked a bunch of Big Ten games this year, so I've kind of gotten to see.
You're the only reason I paid attention to them, so.
Slay.
Yeah, forget Big Ten.
A good teammate.
Yep.
Hating on the Big Ten. Man,
get out of here.
Telling you what, that Minnesota game I worked was just Big Ten football. Had Big Ten football written all over it. Put up 7 offensive linemen, 8. Stack them up. Let's go.
Let's get to it.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll jump into some Titans talk. If you want to chat, 615-737-1045. Mentioned yesterday, I had written the Titans off in Sunday's game. I thought there was no way they would come away with a win off a short work week, an emotional Monday Night Football win over the Bills. They proved me wrong.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about that game? What are you concerned about moving forward? Obviously facing a very different team than what they just saw the past 2 weeks.
Right.
Jump in the conversation, 615-737-1045. We want to hear from you. Call Hunk, Don Davenport, Ron Slade. This is 3HL.
Vrabel was a little salty after the win in his press conference, too. He's trying to keep everyone focused, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do that. He mentioned, too, I don't think he was very happy with how many Buffalo and Chiefs fans were in there.
Yeah.
And he made that clear as well. Mm-hmm. He's got his eye on the prize. And I thought the Titans said it well. And I guess it was Byard who I specifically saw the comment attributed to, Dawn. The Titans didn't win anything yesterday. Mm-hmm. They won a ball game. That's it. It's the same as if you beat Jacksonville or if you beat Houston or if you beat Miami. It doesn't make any difference. They won a ball game. Now, that was the 2-time defending AFC champion. It's a big deal for the fans. It was fun. It was exciting. But they want more. And they realize if they're going to get more, they've got to keep getting better.
We are live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill, hoping that you come on out and hang out with us. Grab some wings. This is our Titans football feast. We will have Chester Rogers, wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans, out here with us at 5 o'clock. Don Davenport alongside Ron Slay.
Yes, sir. I'm in the building.
Yes, as we work towards another Titans week here. Mm-hmm. And another Titans opponent, and a big one. And we hit a little bit on this yesterday with the Colts. Their conversation is our way to stay in this, and our way to kind of make sure that we are still in this is to get an AFC South win,
right,
and to do it this weekend. And this is a different Colts team than what the Titans saw last time.
And, Babs, it's amazing what time does, especially in football. Like, the NFL season, I would equate it to dog years. It's like 1 week is almost like a month and a half. Like, you look back 2 weeks ago, and even talking about the Colts, the opponent coming up, this is a team not written off, but it's like, what are they going to do? Are they going to be able to get it together? Can Carson Wentz get healthy enough? And then here you go, you're looking at the Colts coming into this game with a humongous win in San Francisco. Now, all those questions that were asked about Frank Reich and Carson Wentz have all been shifted to San Francisco. And now they're asking that about Shanahan and that offense and Garoppolo, what can he get done? And then you look at the Titans after 2 weeks from the what's I got, Chicken Little, with the sky falling down.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
At the Arizona game, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, offensive coordinator can't call an offense.
Come on, man.
There's injuries. This is bad.
Oh, now look where we are now. Now you're not only talking about the Titans being the upper echelon again of the AFC, but now having an MVP guy in Derrick Henry. and putting all that together, nobody's questioning the line anymore. And even though with the health, they're still not questioning the secondary, which should be questioned, is not a question because of this defensive rush that they poured money into. It's so much going good with the Titans. And, listen, we're hard on the coaching staff. They got to get the flowers, too. And, of course, the players. The players go without question to me. But somebody got to get the credit. The next man up attitude and going out there and producing, not just a person going in. And I can't wait to ask Chester Rogers about that, too, because I talked about yesterday, I need him back on the punt return team. Really, really bad. Like, I love Mason Kinsey, but I am so nervous. I'm so comfortable when Chester is back there. So hopefully he gets back in there and
that was
gets
like
rolling.
the first thing you said when you came in on Monday. Man, I just get so nervous.
Because a game can change with momentum plays. And that right there, that's a facet of the game. All three facets of the game. Special teams, offense, defense. It's a big part for them.
So we talk about Carson Wentz, and because obviously we're going to focus a lot on this Titans offense coming up later in the show with Chester here with us. So we'll talk a lot offensively. We'll talk a lot of Tannehill and A.J. Brown and Julio Jones and what they do. But if you look at Indy and you look at Carson Wentz and what he has been able to do, he completed 17 of 26 passes, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, passer rating 106.2, and he's now had a passer rating of over 104 consecutive games.
Wow.
4 straight, so...
And that ankle is heavily taped, too. We were watching the game, and me and Ramon pointed out at the same time, look at that ankle.
Yeah.
Like, it's still
and
heavily taped.
the first time you saw him, it was, it was clearly...
How was he even out there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have been. And
No,
that,
you're right.
that told you everything you needed to know about how they felt about Jacob Eason, right? Because they put him out there with a heavily taped ankle where he could not even move, as opposed to going with Eason, which now we saw.
Exactly.
Their quarterback depth chart now is Carson Wentz, Brett Hundley, and Sam Ellinger. So we know how they felt. Bye-bye.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, he's been extremely efficient. 4 straight games. 5 of his 7 starts in 2021, he also has a passer rating of over 100. So
you know who's flirting with that passer rating? MV King. Derrick Henry. I'm just saying, if we talking quarterbacks and guys throwing touchdowns, we got to talk Derrick Henry a little bit.
You mean Derrick Henry, who threw more touchdown passes than Patrick Mahomes this weekend? You mean that Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
That's who you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yes. So this is, and I know it's only Tuesday, so maybe it's a little early to really dive into Colts talk, but this is not the same Colts team that they saw.
No.
Now, obviously, you can pull a lot from that, but it's just not the same. And Quentin Nelson back at left guard, that's a big.
Huge.
I mean, that was big for them as well.
They poured into that offensive line. And just like we were talking to Mike Keefe yesterday, the opposite end of that is this isn't the same Titans team they saw.
Absolutely.
Either.
100%.
So that's good. Like you got guys out there that are threats, regardless if they're 100% healthy or not. Like you get Julio and AJ out there. You got Derrick Henry rolling. You got the line blocking. This defensive pass rush is second to none right now in the NFL.
Well, so that kind of leads to one of my questions. The biggest difference you've seen or you've felt in this Titans team and how they have been able to get it done the last 2 weeks. And obviously you had 2 similar quarterbacks, at least from a threat standpoint in what they're able to do. And it will be a different, I mean, you'll see a different offense when you face this Colts team. They would probably prefer to run the ball.
Yes.
So the biggest difference in what you've seen from this Titans team where things are clicking now, and I think, one is they're getting somewhat healthier.
There you go. Yep.
And the pieces behind that have stepped in for those that aren't healthy have done their job.
Yes.
Not more, not less, but done their job.
Yep. And then it was now I think like you said, health is one key one. 2 is knowing who's going to be reliable. You look at a guy like David Long Jr., coming into the game, I think you hang your hat on him. We got him as the same way you think about a guy like Jeff Simmons, you think about David Long Jr. You see Danico entering that realm also. Rashad Evans, finally, it's like Brent said, it started the Buffalo game, then it bled over into the Kansas City game. He's clicking. The only question is the corners, and that's because of health. But with a pass rush being the way it is, hey, I'm all for it.
How long can that?
How long does it last?
How long can that hold up?
How long does it last? But I tell you this though, Babs. The thing is, what Landry is doing off the edge, and then Bud Dupree finally getting his legs under him and getting not only his legs under him, but the confidence of him. Because the man missed almost a year of playing football. So him being able to get his legs under and get confident in his moves and the rhythm of the game, the snaps, when to fire off the ball, all of that plays into it, man. So I can honestly, and I don't want to be homerish on this one, but I can only see it getting better. I know you say it can't get worse, but can it get better? I think it can. I mean, because look.
Absolutely. You get it. You add in
just scratching the surface.
Right. Another week for Bud to get healthier. You add in, and I'm looking long term too.
Yeah.
A healthy Julio Jones.
Yes.
But, Buck Rising had reported he wanted to play. Basically, the coaching staff was like, "No, you're good."
Right. Just be cool.
Heal up the hammy. Not that Julio wants to remember or talk about anything
what is that?
injury-wise.
Yeah,
I don't know. But, yeah. What, I'm sorry. What? Hamstring? I don't know what you're talking about. If you've missed his press conference, that's usually the norm for him. Yes. So I will say this though, we're talking about the pluses, the future, the moving forward, the okay. I think this team can move in the right direction and get better. Todd Downing getting more comfortable with what his weapons are and play calling and what works, and what they're doing, and those stepping into the offensive line and giving Ryan Tannehill a little bit of time, and he's not seeing ghost anymore.
Right.
All of that. But after the game, first of all, Kevin Byard said nobody's won nothing.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, we just beat the Bills and the Chiefs, and those are two teams that you mark as have to learn how to beat these teams in order to still be playing at the end of the year.
Because
those are two of those teams. Because
they're playing at
that's
the end
it.
of the year.
Yeah, I get it. But Kevin Byard said it best, and he's like, we haven't done anything. We haven't won anything.
Right.
It's still really early. And I think that's why Mike Vrabel was kind of a little salty after a big win on a short work week against Patrick Mahomes. But I think that's why, because it was, hey, we have to stay focused. Focused in this room.
In order to break the norm, and we talk about it week to week, every time with the Titans football team, you always have that letdown. History shows it's a letdown coming. In order to break that, keep in your mind, man, we ain't did nothing yet. You ain't did anything. You still got to go out there and show. And I do, back to the pass rush, we can't rule out guys like Ola Adani.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Carson Wentz isn't Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes right now, especially being athletic and being able to – he is athletic, but being healthy enough to scramble around. In some situation, Carson will be on the spot. I think that bodes well to that pass rush also. Bud Dupree coming around the edge, Landry coming around the edge, Ola Adani coming around the edge, pushing pressure up front. Big Merch is back. He's playing. So if you get that, I think it's a little different than chasing a guy like Mahomes and Allen. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Indy protects, because Kansas City couldn't. And coming into it, the O-line.
That line, man.
Yeah, I mean, and look, you got Big Eric, the left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs and Trey Young on the left side. They couldn't get it done. The right, and I'm a big Trey Smith advocate.
Yes.
He's been playing phenomenal. He's probably going to be on a rookie team or something, but.
He's battling injury.
So at this point in the season.
Is it an ankle? I think it's an
ankle. I think so, yep. So that planning and things like that. And listen, that injury report comes out, these guys know it. They're trying to take advantage of that. If you don't think they're reading it, you're crazy. So I can't wait to see the limit. The sky is definitely the limit. It's not the roof, like Michael Jordan would say. It is definitely the sky's the limit with this team, because I mean, it's so many weapons in the front seven. And we get on the backside, outside of Bayard. It's going to be a little tough. Amani Hooker, we need him back healthy.
That's a different conversation.
What about where are we with Christian Fulton now? He needs one more week?
So Buffalo Bills was game 1. So was put on
Kansas City
IR
was 2.
that day. So that's 1 game, and it's 3.
Okay, so
total.
Kansas City was 2.
Yep.
Man, we don't want these games to hurry by, but hurry by.
Well, but you also want him to get healthy when
Without
you're looking
question.
for the long haul run here as well. And no distractions. And I feel like distractions is like this is my leeway into open coaching, vacancies, and drama, and all of this.
Because it's out here.
It's all it's so entertaining.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, because USC is open college-wise. I feel like that is a fan base, and that's a place that's very similar to a Tennessee.
Right.
When it comes to their football program, the history there, this is an amazing job, but it's fallen off lately. It's just with how everything's changed is a little different.
Right.
Everything in the game and recruiting wise and all of that. So it's kind of a different job now.
Right.
But still a big name job. LSU, needless to say.
Yes.
Huge job. So, there's lists, there's reports out, there's this, whatever. I mean, James Franklin, of course, his agent has him. Actually, he just changed agents, by the way.
Did he?
I think he just joined Jimmy.
Sexton?
Sexton, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw a report somewhere. But anyway, so there's James Franklin's name that's out for every single open job, clearly. Not sure how that Illinois loss is going to do for him.
Yeah.
But there's one. So I think it's Matt Leinart that came out with a list of 4 guys for this USC job. Mike Tomlin was one of them. Mike Tomlin's name on this list, which you know me. I'm like, I'm sorry. If you're an NFL guy, the last thing you want to do is step into this absolute Shiano show of college recruiting where you have to talk to every single kid all the time and you're texting and you're DMing and now there's NIL that's going on and there's the transfer portal. So, hey, if this 5-star freshman comes in and you don't play him right away, even if he's not ready, it doesn't matter. He's going to be like, peace. And then, guess what? You have injuries and you're screwed because you have no depth because the transfer portal is absolutely changing the college game. So I'm like, anytime anyone brings up an NFL guy's name who has been a consistent NFL coach, I'm like, there is no way that he's interested. So, of course, the media, because this is what we do. We have to do this. We have to ask the questions.
Poke and pry.
Oh, the Steelers press conference today. Did you see this? Because, it was good.
Let me hear it.
All right. So this is Steelers head coach
can't wait to hear this.
Mike Tomlin. When he was asked if he would leave the Steelers job for that open USC job because his name now is on a list. Here's Coach Tomlin.
Hey, guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? Anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
Wow.
There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
Listen.
I'm not going to say never, but never.
Now, in other words, hey, man, don't ask me nothing stupid anymore.
No,
Please
you know
don't.
what you really wanted to say. You can't say what he really wanted to say. You can't say on air.
4-letter words, start with F.
Get out of here with that
Exactly.
mess.
And what you got to realize, this man is it would be different if he was working for one of these franchises that's unstable, such as maybe a Miami, that's in flux a lot. I can't even, it's a lot of them out there, but Pittsburgh is not that one.
Or if it's a guy who maybe didn't have a ton of success in the NFL, and you look at like a Nick Saban who likes the ability to kind of develop players a little bit more. That's more the college game.
You're exactly right.
Tomlin has
No.
That's not his deal.
No, it's not. And the man hasn't had an under 500 season since he's been in the league.
Right? That's the other thing. I'm like, he's
what are you talking about?
successful.
Yeah. And I coached for the Rooneys, who gave me an opportunity as a young African-American coach to get into the league and got the job done, got a Super Bowl, and they've stuck with me. I've stuck with them, and it's been a match made in heaven. Why would I leave this stability? And like you said, to your point, the NCAA gets involved, and you no longer have that carrot of a big-time contract to dangle in front of a player to get him to get out there and play hard. Like you said with NCAA, man, they're not happy, they leave. It's like, what? You take the power away from the coach and the management and everything else, then let alone the rules that you got to go against. Like, come on, man. Tom,
Oh my God. You want his record?
What is it?
154, 87, and 1.
You want me to leave this? Tell me why. Tell me why again.
He's never had a losing season.
Come on, man. Stop it.
Since he was with the Steelers in 2007. But you know what? You know what I want to do? I want to go to USC. I want to go try and build something.
I see exactly what they're doing out there. That looks so enticing. Yeah, get out of here, man.
That's
Stop
rough.
It. I love his answer. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know about you, but, who knows? But you can make arguments, I guess. But if you're looking at USC or LSU, what job are you going to take? I know LSU, you got to run through the gauntlet of the SEC every single year. I get it, but you know you can win a national championship there because Ed O just did it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you've got top-notch facilities. You've got Louisiana in recruiting, just shored up. I don't know.
Right.
So James Franklin is the other guy whose name comes up.
Yeah.
And his responses to the questions are like completely opposite. I mean, he's like all over the show right now. Mm-hmm. So he was asked today, all the coaches do kind of their weekly press conferences today, get ready for Saturday's game in college. And obviously James Franklin coming off his
big time loss
to Illinois, his 9 overtime loss.
Way to fight through, baby.
So he's like, we're focused here. First of all, he says, yep, totally ready for a big environment at the Big House.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not playing there. That's not their game this week.
Yeah, I think that's Michigan State.
Yeah, no.
And Michigan
they're
is
playing Ohio
Michigan
State.
Yeah. Penn State's at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Michigan is not even having a home game. They're at Michigan State. So maybe he was going to rent the stadium. Oh, hey, man.
So clearly his focus is, Anyway, so, of course, he's asked about open job things. And, he's like, well, honestly, we're just focused on Illinois this week. Guess what? They just played Illinois and lost to him in 9 overtimes.
Hey,
You're playing Ohio State, James.
The game's still going on in
What are you doing? Where are you?
They're in a 200th overtime right now trying to get this 2-point conversion, man.
Like that 2-point conversion.
It's stressing them.
Man, that clearly has messed with his mind, and he is not focused. But, I mean, don't you wonder if his mind is elsewhere at this point?
Yes.
Like, man, I got to get out of here.
Yes.
That USC job. He was gunning for the USC job last time it was open.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So maybe is he going to self-implode? Like, wait a minute, Franklin. Get it together.
I don't know. But by the way, James, you're playing Ohio State this weekend. Oh, and by the way, that team is hot right now.
and dying after that Oregon mishap to make a statement.
Oh,
they can't wait to make a statement. So, yeah.
And they've made a statement every single week.
Yeah, and we're making
far.
a statement, too, right here at Buffalo Wild Wings out here in Spring Hill. Thank you for the people that have arrived. You're in the building. Thank you. Okay, it's getting loud. It's getting cranked up. So make sure you get here. We still want to hear from you people. Calling in 615-737-1045. We will be right back, Babs.
Yeah.
he is shook through 7 weeks of the NFL season because he can't stay upright. He can't make these spectacular plays that he is accustomed to making over the course of his career in the NFL because he has Bud Dupree and Danico Autry in his face mask in 2 seconds. They rebuilt that offensive line this offseason, and it's not doing the things that they needed to fix. It's better at run blocking than it is at pass protection. And the Chiefs don't really run the ball like that. There was a point in time at halftime, they had like 55 net. No, it was at the 2-minute warning. Forgive me. The 2-minute warning. They had 55 net yards of offense. And that's not just a credit to Shane Bowen. It's a credit to the defensive coaching staff. It's a credit to the players on defense. It is a credit to that unit as a whole from top to bottom because in the last 6 days, they have put on 2 kick-ass performances. And this is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly what it needs to look like in all 3 phases if you consider yourself a legitimate Super Bowl contender, not just a team that can win the division, because we know they can do that.
Welcome back in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. We are on the road with our Titans Feast here, and we are at Buffalo Wild Wings. We've got Chester Rogers coming to join us a little bit later. Child actor Chester Rogers, by the way. If you didn't know, now you know.
Like, how many times does that happen that you go into a professional sport? Like,
right.
That's not golf or something.
Like that you're that talented, you can, go be an actor or go play professional football, right? I don't know. You could be an actor, Ron Slay.
Yeah, I could be. That's
yes.
right.
Hey, Jim Wyatt could be an actor. That's for sure. Jim Wyatt has all the stories. We know that. Jimmy is with us right now with Titans.com. Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm doing great. Did you guys know that Chester Rogers has his own GIF collection?
No. Entire collection?
If you go to your phone, look for GIFs, and put in Chester Rogers, you'll see about 6-7 different shots of him. Thumbs up, thumbs down,
Oh, wow.
arms out, smiling. He did it for Nickelodeon back in the day. So you'll have to ask him about that, and you can use GIFs and promoting him coming on the show.
Man,
Hey,
see,
Jim.
that is great.
You something else, Jim. That's what I'm talking about.
Jim knows everything. Hey, Jim, I got to be honest. I may have written the Titans off in that Kansas City game because I thought so many injuries coming off an emotional Monday night football game, a short work week. They get a win over the Bills. They're missing basically their entire secondary besides Byard. I thought there's no way that they could get it done, and they do. What did we learn about this Titans team with a win over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Yeah, and I don't think you're alone, Dawn. I mean, I think if you looked at these two games back-to-back, too, I think they're the two that jumped out on the schedule as being, two of the tougher games. And I think a lot of people would have predicted the Titans would go 0-2. So to beat Buffalo, that was a plus. And it almost, looked at it like, okay, if you lose the Chiefs game, the Titans didn't think this, obviously, but I think if you're a fan, you're thinking if you can split these two, you would take it. But not only do you beat Buffalo, but you dominate the Chiefs with the banged up secondary, as you said. And I think I think what we learned is that this team is starting to get a pass rush that can overcome when you have injuries on the back end. It has an offense now that with everybody getting close to healthy, Julio Jones and A.J. Brown out there, Anthony Firks are now out there. You're still missing your left tackle and Taylor Lewan. You're shuffling some other guys in and out there, but you've got a lot of your pieces back. And, I think we're seeing the potential of this team. So 2 encouraging results. With all that said, now you head into a stretch at Indy, at L.A., and if you drop these next 2, you're going to be tied atop the division with the Colts after 9 games because the Colts play the Jets after the Titans. They're not losing to that Jets team. So that's you can't celebrate, very long because you got 2 really tough ones staring at you in the face. And this Colts team is healthier now with Wentz going to be a little bit more mobile. It's another big challenge coming up here in just a couple of days.
Yeah, we always talk about divisional games counting twice almost. Is it as simple, you look at this Titans team and where everything is clicking, is it as simple as getting key players healthier?
I think that's a part of it. But still, not completely there yet because you're still playing without Christian Fulton and you didn't play with Amani Hooker this weekend. And again, Taylor Lewan's out. So they're still not completely all the way back from a health standpoint. But I do think, AJ is kind of back to being himself again. Julio, even if the numbers aren't huge, he's still impacting games. And you're seeing, Bud Dupree look better than he's looked after kind of some road bumps at the start. So I think some of it's health, some of it guys just getting better. Some of it is the success of the run game is now opening things up in the passing game, and maybe this team is not too bad after all. I mean, I know the game against the Cardinals was terrible. The game against the Jets was forgettable. But after that blowout against the Cardinals, this team's played pretty good football, other than the trip to the Meadowlands, and now you just need to see that consistency here over the rest of the season.
And Jim, real quick before you leave us, and we don't want you to, but before you do, you talk about consistency. David Long Jr., we saw the maturation of Big Jeff Simmons and him being a vocal guy and being an emotional guy. you're starting to see that from David Long, who's been waiting his opportunity, and now that he's gotten it, it's like he's got a stranglehold on it. Now, you speak to his consistency and that next man up really meaning something, because when you get your opportunity, and Vrabel preaches it, you got to be that guy, and he's that guy.
Yeah, and it's fun watching him play because he's like a missile out there. He just seems to find the ball and seems to make things happen. And reality is, I think when the season started and you started doing the count at linebacker, Rashaan Evans and Jayon Brown were viewed by most everybody as the top two. Just drafted Monty Rice. In some ways, David Long was a forgotten man, but he has been one of the most consistent players on this defense, and I think really all he needed was an opportunity and a chance to play. And the more you play, the better you're going to get. So he's gotten into a great groove. He is one of these guys that just seems to find the football. He's a spark plug. He's an energy guy, and he's fast. So he's going to make it tough for Jayon to get kind of back into the role he was in before he got hurt. So I think now you're looking at David Long not only as a starter for the rest of the way here, but then looking ahead, he's got to be one of your guys moving forward as well. So he's been a great development. It's been neat to see, and he's one of the big reasons why this team's all of a sudden playing a lot better on defense.
Jim, real quick on the way out, you've been covering this Titans team since they got here in Tennessee, 99. And there's a lot of talk after the win over Kansas City, the national talk, Titans fans kind of complaining about the fact that national media people are talking about how bad Kansas City is, not necessarily how good the Titans are and what they did to make Kansas City look bad. But I am curious from your perspective, how have you seen kind of the national narrative on the Titans, on a, and I'm doing air quotes, by the way, small market team? How have you seen it change? And is it better now? Because we're still seeing after a Monday night win over the Bills, it's, and then follow it up with a win over Mahomes, and it's, okay, well, Kansas City's really bad. Their defense is terrible, and their offensive line can't protect. It's not, oh, hey, look, the Titans are pretty dang good. How have you seen that narrative change?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. I mean, you still hear about, the Bengals deserve all the props that they're getting for playing so well and blowing out Baltimore. And I still think Buffalo is one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the entire league. Titans seem like they're in that next wave of contenders. But, reality is, Titans shouldn't get too worked up over it, and fans shouldn't get too worked up over it. Because a lot of times when we've seen this, like you said, I've been covering this team for a long time. It seems like every time, the team or some players speak out about wanting to get more respect, that's when you kind of fall flat on your face. Yep. So reality is you just got to keep doing your job. I'll never forget, that 2019 season when the Titans really weren't that talked about. And then all of a sudden you're playing the AFC Championship game, and then everybody is talking about you. So that's a better scenario. I mean, if they're talking about you in January and February, that's what matters most. What's happening now in October really doesn't mean anything.
Good stuff. Always. Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com. You can go to TitansOnline.com. Check out his mailbag. It's always great. You even answer questions in Spanish and respond in Spanish in your mailbag. Like, you are on it, Jimmy. I love it.
I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day.
All right, there you go. Thanks, Jim Wyatt at J Wyatt Sports on Twitter. Always good Titans contact there. All right, 4:00 hour coming up. Brent Doherty is in Houston, wandering around outside of the stadium. He's got the vibe of the World Series and what's going on there in Houston. So we will check in with him here in the 4:00 hour. Also check in with Alan Bell as well. Stick around. This is 3HL live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill.
I guess, Teresa, man, of all the games Vrabel has coached in his short time here, I guess you want to call it that, as a head coach, this may have been, in my mind, maybe the best game. Just kind of take us through and recall. Do you think this was the best showing in a Titans game as Vrabel as the head coach?
Well, it's certainly up there, right? I mean, you know, they've had wins in the regular season over the Patriots, the Eagles, and, you know, they've had some, you know, the win against the Chiefs 2 years ago, but that was, you know, they had to win that blocking a kick and making some last-second plays. Even the game against the Bills a week ago, you know, they have a fourth down stop to help seal that win, but, you know, from start to finish, you know, they start the game off scoring 14 points in the first quarter, 27-0 lead at halftime, and then they get the defense puts a final, you know, they literally knock Patrick Mahomes out of the game, and then get a final turnover just when it looked like maybe the Chiefs would go score a garbage time touchdown, and even that they stopped. So, and then as I mentioned, no issues with kickers. I mean, they've had some good games over these last 2-3 years, but, you know, how many issues, maybe there's an extra point that's missed or field goal that's missed, that, you know, when Kevin Byard says that he thinks it's the most complete game that they've played since he's been a Titan, it's tough to disagree with that right now.
We are live here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill. Come on out and see us. People starting to trickle in. I like it.
Oh, it's filling up.
It's filling up. You know why?
Why?
Because we got about, 40 minutes from our Miller Lite wash away toast?
Yes.
Have you practiced?
No, I haven't. I mean, with the excitement of a win, I don't think there's any need. We just need people in the building. That's it. That's all we need. Once we got them in the building, we cool.
Well, you're in the building. I'm Dawn Davenport. That's Ron Slay.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
Man, Hunk's slow. What did Hunk watch that slow NFL game last night or
Yes,
something?
he did.
Still asleep from
Yeah, still asleep.
Hey, man.
That was not ideal.
It was 23 points scored in that game total. A Monday night game, coming off a game where you saw the Titans in Buffalo put on a show.
Right.
Not only offensively,
Exciting.
but defensively as well. Like, come on, man. New Orleans defense did make it interesting at the end of the game, but when I say boring, I mean every bit of it.
Yeah.
Outside of the Manning cast, which I switched to probably the second quarter, I wouldn't have made it. There's no way I'll make it through that game.
See, that's a perfect example of when you want to watch the Manning cast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But if it's one of your teams and it's a really close game, you don't want to watch the Manning cast.
Yeah, and I think anybody that was a fan of the Seahawks or a fan of the Saints probably turned it also, even though that's their team. Like, nobody. I don't think nobody wanted to watch that game. That was.
I had Saints fans tweeting at me when I complained about Monday Night Football, saying, "Yeah, I can only watch the Manning cast."
See what I'm saying?
Wow. Even
That was
even the
bad.
fans.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really bad. But the entertaining part, you had Tom Brady on with the Manning cast. You had Marshawn Lynch dropping all kind of F-bombs on the heels of Eli Manning with the birds.
Like, you can't do that. It's live TV. You cannot do that. I get it. You want the freedom. You just
They forget. I think they
can't.
forget.
I guess that's a good thing. They're that comfortable that they forget. But come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
I will say Drew Brees came in at the end. He cleaned it up. You know, he was a good ending for it. So
Yeah, if you made it that long.
yeah, if you made it. Right.
So you're stuck with just me and Slay because our leader, our fearless leader, the mayor, came across some World Series.
He
stumbled across some World Series tickets. So he's in Houston, but there you go, Hunk. Louder. Play it louder. Let me hear it. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, Bravos. Mayor's on the phone with us. Brent.
Mayor.
Are you there?
What is up, people? I got to say, man, I'm looking forward to the Slay wash away toast, but I may or may not have already been practicing for that moment. I am there with you in spirit, and I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of Braves fans down here. Now, part of that reason is because we are in the Braves hotel, so we've seen
like the team hotel.
Braves fans, yes, we've seen Braves fans, we've seen Braves players. I've seen John Sherholtz coming back from a jog. Like, I mean, it's kind of a crazy environment down here.
Oh, I love it. So, Phyllis, first of all, Kirby said, I mean, you need to tell Brent that just because your favorite team makes it to the World Series, it's not okay to take off of work during football season. I'm like, Kirby, yes, it is.
That's good enough
If
reason.
any of us come across World Series tickets, you sure as hell better go. Absolutely. So
we all have days to use, right?
Exactly.
I mean, use them wisely, and typically none of us use all of them, so might as well get them in for a big moment like this. And honestly, the moment for me is to have some time with my 11-year-old who also loves the Astros. So it's kind of a bonding thing for me and him, and it's been fun walking around with him down in H-Town today.
Well, okay, now, I mean, Astros fans aside, give us the layout of the feel, the vibe there. I know you guys just went near the stadium and kind of took it all in. Like, what are people saying, and what's the vibe there before this thing kicks off tonight?
Well, I think Drew Doherty summed it up pretty well as we were walking back to the hotel. We went down to check out the vibe down by Minute Maid Park, and they don't open the gates until 5 o'clock, but people are already, as you would imagine, just lined up out there. As we were walking back, we passed some Braves fans, and we kind of said to each other, like, have fun tonight, good luck, that kind of thing. And Drew looked at me and said, this is a lot different than college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. But you don't have the finality in a best-of-7 series in Game 1, right? And I think baseball is just different too. Like the whole vibe of the sport is different. So, you know, the other question he asked me that I thought was interesting, he said, Dad, do you think other AL fans are for the Astros? And I go, nobody's for the Astros.
Right.
Nobody.
Not at this point right now.
Nobody. I mean, no, not with their history. There's nobody. So where's your money tonight?
You know, I don't know game to game. I know the Astros are favored in the series. This one's a tough one for me to read. Slay, what do you think? Like, I think the pitching matchup tonight is good with Charlie Morton and Framber Valdez. Valdez was awesome. Had a no-hitter into the sixth inning against the Red Sox last time out. But this ballpark lends itself to some offense, and the Braves are red hot. The Astros are red hot.
Yep.
I think it'll be entertaining. Like, I think that's the one thing. As for who's going to win, I really don't know.
I'm going to let you know that Valdez is 4-1 in his postseason career with a 2.77 ERA.
And that's wonderful.
Hey, there's the baseball guy. He always has the numbers, man.
And see, I don't want to give a generic answer, but I will say, man, the way the Astros ended the last round with the bat scorching, I expect them to come home and do the exact same thing, honestly. And I expect this is not the parlay, but I did bet on the over 8 runs, and I did give up a point with Houston. So I expect Atlanta to do their thing, but I think Atlanta catches momentum when they go home and make this a series. I don't think they do it in Houston, not in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, from an Atlanta standpoint, right, like you just want to take one of these two, right, and then go back to Atlanta, you know, tied 1 game apiece. I don't know. Like it's an electric atmosphere out here, man. It's like it's such a party, you know. And if you've never been able to go to a World Series, try to make that happen, even if you don't have a dog in the hunt. I mean, it's just a completely different field than most baseball games. As for over/under, I heard you talking about the parlay. And I got to admit something to you, Slay.
Oh, what?
Despite my undying love for you, bro. Right before the game, I just hammered the under.
Did you?
Hammered it.
Come on, Mayor. Like, why do you always go on, especially with baseball? Football, we ride together. Baseball, you always go opposite me, man, every time. What is going on? You're going to be part of the flush away, the toast away.
Here's the good news for you on baseball. I can't do anything because I'm in Texas, so I can't.
Oh, you sure can.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So you really don't matter right now.
Oh, gosh.
Y'all Mars.
We're just going to ride with whatever you decide to do.
There it is. My man.
You like how comfortable Slay is telling you you don't matter right now since you're not with us here at B-Dubs.
Hey, how's B-Dubs, man? I'm missing B-Dubs. I can't believe I'm missing B-Dubs.
We got a good crowd,
We got him on the phone. What's up,
Break.
man? 1, 2, 3. That's what B-Dubs sound like. There you go.
There's
See
you
what I'm
some
saying?
love.
I love it. I miss the 3HL people, man. I love doing remotes because I love getting out and seeing the people.
Hey, it's filling up too, man. They can't wait. I'm telling you.
Well, you enjoy that atmosphere. You guys make some dad-son memories. And, of course, go Braves, baby.
There you go.
I got you. And a lot of people have been hitting me with Go Braves. And the thing about it is I'm going to like all of those statuses because, you know, I always want all of our crew, all of our 3HL listeners, all of their teams to win.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this series. But I respect the passion and bring it. That's all I got to say. Hey, I might tap back in and stay on hold at 4:45 because I got to do the
Wash away toast. Yes, I would
There
love
you
that.
go.
That's what I'm talking about.
I like it. And maybe we'll check in with you tomorrow at some point just to kind of hear about the atmosphere and the game and the Braves win and all that. So that'll be great. All right, Mayor, we love you. Have fun.
All right, love you guys.
All right, love you, bro.
Hey, follow on the socials at Brent Doherty on Twitter at 3HL1045, and I think Paul Mason and those guys are doing some stuff with the zone with some of the pictures that I'll be sending up.
Love it.
Perfect. Good stuff. All right, there you go. Brent Doherty enjoying the World Series, the Fall Classic here tonight. Coming up, we're talking about numbers and where your money is and all that. You know this guy is going to have an opinion on it. Alan Bell from Sportsline.com. We will check in with our guy AB coming up next. We are live, 3HL, right here in Spring Hill at Buffalo Wild Wings. Stick around.
So I remember, the Jets thing happens, and then you play against Jacksonville, and I remember listening to a couple of guys afterwards saying they wish they had done more. David Long came on with us right after that win, and he said, there's a couple of plays I wish I could have back and some things I want to shore up and things. But then it feels like you guys just have continued to play more and more complete. Was there a moment this season where you guys galvanized, where it started to feel a little bit different? You've been around this team for a while, where you guys really started to gel as a unit, and then yesterday, of course, played your most complete game.
Well, honestly, man, I felt like in training camp, man, I felt like this was one of the better training camps we've had as a defense. I feel like we really gelled and got close in training camp. And, you talk about the Jets game, I wouldn't say it was just a moment, but, when we break down the film and we look at ourselves as a defense, if we don't give up big plays, whether if it's in the pass game or the run game, there's not too many teams that can just drive the ball on us continuously and constantly. So I think breaking down that film kind of proved to us to say, hey, if we don't give up these big plays we did in the passing game, we played a dominant game. And I just think that it kind of was, a surefire way to shore up everything to say, hey, we don't give up big plays. And we can affect the quarterback and get after the quarterback, and we can play physical, up front and on the back end. Those are going to be recipes for us to be dominant as a defense. And I'm always trying to give daily and weekly and minutely and hourly reminders that, hey, if we continue to do these things, we could be dominant. So we proved it on Sunday.
That's some good music.
That
That's
is
a
some
good
good music.
choice there, Honk.
Honk, there you go, Honk.
There you go, Honk.
you.
That's what I'm
Told
talking
you
about.
He was going to get Vanilla Ice today. If you need me to, I could go find the song from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. I've got that one, too.
I remember that. That was
All right, stop.
Collaborate.
I didn't know.
With a brand new
I didn't know
there you
what
go.
Babs wanted me to go with
Something.
that. I didn't know she
Grabs
really
a
wanted me to
hold
stop
of
or
you
get to it. Hey.
Oh, good stuff. All right, welcome
Yeah.
back, 3HL. We are live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill. Come on out. A lot of people here grabbing some food, waiting for Chester Rogers, who will be here shortly, about 40 minutes.
Yes.
Titans wide receiver, to break down where this team is right now, what they have done, what the offense has been able to do, and all of that. But until then, we have our guy, AB, Alan Bell,
Okay.
Sportsline.com with CBS Sportsline. You can catch him on Twitter at AlanBell247. He always answers your questions on Twitter. A very entertaining follow. He joins us now here live on 3HL. Hey, AB, how's it going?
Hi, Don. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get to, but before we do it all, I'm curious about this because we were chatting about this in the break and a little bit yesterday too. at how much certain players, if they're there, if they're not there, can move lines. And obviously, in the NFL, injury and all of that, it's public information. In college, it's a little different. You have to know your sources and kind of see. Always trust Vegas, right? They'll tell you what's going on. But Davante Adams was one, obviously, with the COVID issues that came out and him being out for the Packers, and the line moves all of a sudden. 2.5 points? Or something crazy like that, which I know I had heard in the past that like a good quarterback is basically worth 1.5. So what gives 1.5 or 2, I guess. But so what gives there? And why was it such a drastic movement? Was it the worry that there was more to come? Was it that they were also out a coach? What's fill us in on the behind the scenes, info on lines moving like that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, usually, one player doesn't move the line, unless they're a large quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, somebody like that. But, yeah, we saw crazy movement. And the interesting part was that the line was moving already before the news was even announced. So Vegas knows, they just know things that the rest of us just don't know, right? So, I'm sitting here and I have alerts set on these lines to where anytime fast movement starts happening, you get alerted to it and you start wondering, okay, all right, what is going on here? So yeah, you're right. Davante Adams goes on the COVID list. That line shoots up, from Arizona -3.5 to Arizona -6, right? So which is a massive jump, like you said, especially with being a wide receiver. But it also goes to a lot of other factors of what you were just kind of alluding to. The Packers are going to be without their defensive coordinator. And then also it was the concern, well, if you have one, and especially a player as, important as Davante Adams, he's probably around other guys on the team. So are there going to be more? And then we find out today, Allen Lazard is out as well. So yeah, it's crazy to see that. And it's wild to watch it in real time, especially before the news breaks, because you're trying to figure out, okay, what in the world just happened here?
Yeah. AB, I'll tell you what. That was a game I was looking for, and I had no earthly idea which way to take that game, man. And we're going to dive into college and NFL, but since we're talking about that, what do you think about this Thursday night game, which should be honestly to me, a Sunday night or a Monday night game, especially with the records. But
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. Right? So let's just take the COVID part out of it. Let's say that we don't know yet. Right? Just break it down the game.
Right.
So. What we're finding out is that week 1 in the NFL was a lie. Don't pay attention to it because we've seen so many teams that lost in week 1 that have bounced back pretty strong. The Titans being one of them, the Packers being another one, the Buffalo Bills being one. There are multiple instances. So you take a look at the Packers, all right? They've won 6 straight since that game. They've covered 6 straight since that game.
Right.
So it was going to be pretty good. Now, the tough part is that you're catching Green Bay on a short week. I think it would have affected them a little bit more just because they're not as deep of a roster as Arizona is. They're the best team in the NFL. It's hard to argue against them. There are cases for other teams, but what they're doing right now, both sides of the ball, they're just super balanced, and they can hit you, with explosive plays. So I think that, with the line movement that we saw, it's because all of those factors, but it was kind of already going to be a tough game for Green Bay, just with it being a short week. And then you throw that in, and yeah. So I'm with you, man. I was already kind of feeling Arizona already. And then that came in. It's all right, man, it's just tough to go against them. It's tough to bet against them right now because even when they have bad games, they didn't necessarily play great last week, but they just get the job done, man. They're just a really, really good football team right now.
All right, let's talk about this college football real quick. SEC, let's focus on that. The biggest cocktail party. UGA is Florida. You're talking about teams that started off hot, then wheezing in the back. Does Georgia make a statement with this Florida game, or is it a rivalry and we just throw all those records out the book and see who's who of college football in the SEC?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. Okay, so I think it's going to be a little tight to begin with, right? Like Georgia, it's not like Georgia starts out games like the Arizona Cardinals,
right?
Just chucking it deep, right? Like it takes them. They like to wear you down, and in the third and fourth quarter, you just go into a black hole that you're not coming out of. So I think that in the first half might be a decent little underplay. Just kind of take a look at that. But look, the problem for Florida is that. One, Georgia's really good, and two, Georgia runs the football really, really well. We saw what Florida, was just gashed by LSU on the ground for 200-something yards. And LSU is nowhere near Georgia at running the football. So I'm interested to see if Todd Grantham and that Gators defense, if they just completely sell out to stop the run and force Stetson Bennett to beat them in the air. And you know what? It could be his biggest test of the year. So I think 14's a big number here.
Right.
It's literally going to come down to like one final possession for Georgia. Do they punch in a touchdown or not? So it's a really, really tough game. I'll say this. If you're looking at, totals, people are going to bet the over all week. I think it's just like 51 right now. Let them bet that up and then bet the under, because I bet this game's probably a little more low scoring than people might think.
Right.
Alan Bell is with us, CBS Sportsline. AB, sticking in the SEC, and I'm an Auburn girl. You know this, but man, Auburn has to be like just a head-scratching team for anybody betting on that. Like, which quarterback are you going to see? Who knows? Ole Miss at Auburn, 2.5 here is what we're looking. Where are you on this one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to roll, Auburn here, and not just because you're one of my favorite people on the planet, but I feel more comfortable with Auburn, which sounds crazy because we saw what Ole Miss did last week against LSU. But look, LSU was coming off pretty much their game of the season against Florida. There was going to be some natural letdown there, and you just look historically, like Ole Miss has not done well, in Jordan-Hare. So I'm going to roll with Auburn here. It's a tough one. 2.5, I think that if you're going to take Auburn, make sure you get it under 3. Do not mess around with that key number of 3 or anything above that. Stay below, go 2.5. But yeah, you know what? Like I'm just going to roll with Auburn because oddly enough, I feel that they're a more complete team.
I love you, AB. That was well done. Alan Bell, presented by Genesis Auto Brokers. Hate the hassle of traditional dealerships. Start the easiest car buying experiences at GenesisAutoBrokers.com.
You know what, AB? Let's stay right there. Mississippi State and Leach. Now, I'm not impressed what they did with Vanderbilt, but a win is a win in the SEC. You got to take them how they come. They got Kentucky coming to Hale State. Exactly what does Kentucky get done on the road?
Man, I think Kentucky absolutely gets the job done on the road. I've got this more of about a 4.5, 5-point favorite to where Kentucky should be. The line sitting at 1.5 right now. Now, look, when you get a head-scratching line like this out of Vegas, pay attention to it because there's a reason, and it might not be that pretty of a game, but you've got Kentucky who's coming in prepared for this one. There are some injury questions that they'll have to answer, before that game leading up to it. But just overall, Kentucky's a much better team. They're a much more balanced team. They're better offensively. They're better defensively, right? Like, I think that they're more well-coached. So, yeah, I'm going to go Kentucky here. I know it's a head-scratching line, but for me, it's one of those I'm going to try not to let my applesauce brain think about it too much and just roll with the Wildcats and what I trust.
And quickly, AB, with a coin toss, and I mean, you can just skim over this, and this is no offense to the teams, but Mizzou comes to Vandy. I mean,
yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what. You want quickly? I'll give you quickly. Go with the under 63.5 because this game is going to go quickly. It's not going to be pretty at all.
Right.
Take that under 63. Yeah, and just be happy with that.
The big dogs matching up over there in the Big Ten, man. Michigan going to Michigan State, number 6 versus number 8.
This one.
This should be interesting. Both undefeated at the time.
Yeah, they are. Michigan State's a good football team. They're well coached. Mel Tucker's done a great job up there. But look, Michigan, man, here's what they do. They show up, they run the football, they play defense, and they make you beat them. They do not beat themselves. They do not turn the ball over. They do not give you extra chances. Michigan has given me zero reason to stop betting them all year. They've made me a lot of money. And there's no way that I'm going to stop right now because I think Jim Harbaugh knows, you know what, it's been a tough road for him up there, and this year is the one that matters, and he's going to line these teams up, beat them down, and give no oxygen to breathe whatsoever. So, yeah, give me Michigan.
I like that, AB, man.
Kimba Walker's like, hang on now.
If you're not on the Sportsline app, get on the Sportsline app with AB, man. You can follow him outside of this show because we lean on him heavily, and you can lean on him. Well, he doesn't even know this, but I lean on him at 2, 3 in the morning on the Sportsline app
It's a good follow, too.
Great app, yeah.
Hey, so we were talking earlier in the show about, we talked about Mike Tomlin's response to questions about open jobs, and that brought us to James Franklin's response about open jobs and his press conference today where he is clearly distracted. He was talking about playing in the Big House. They're not playing in the Big House this weekend. They're playing Ohio State. Then he was talking about being focused on this week in Illinois. You already lost to them in 9 overtimes. You're not even playing them. So clearly something's going on with James Franklin there at Penn State. But I was actually surprised at this number. I thought it was high.
Yeah, it is high. Look, and James Franklin is in an interesting spot because not only is his name up, for the LSU job, his name's up for the USC job too, and he's a favorite in both of them. And pretty much right now, either of those schools would hire him at the drop of a hat. And, whether you're staying or whether you're not, what it has to do with your checking account, like my man's going to get paid one way or the other, whether he goes or whether he stays. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but you know what? I'll say this. I didn't like that loss that they had last week. I know that it went just an insane game with 9 overtimes, I think it was. I'm not feeling them. I'm not buying into it. I think Ohio State sees that, they can still own the Big Ten. They can still win it. They can still get to the college football playoff. They have everything in front of them that they want to achieve. They just can't let up. And that's where bettors love teams like that because they know you've already made that loss. You have zero room to mess around.
Right.
So there's no, we'll take it easy in the fourth quarter. It's all gas, no brakes. And that's what bettors love. So, yeah, give me Ohio State there.
Babs got to go out to Utah. She got UVA and BYU. Well, BYU, what do they do? Get on track? What's going on with them, Babs? What's going on with them, AB?
Well, because, what do they play for at this point, too, right? If you're BYU, you have 2 losses. Mm-hmm. So you're not in the college football playoff conversation. You're not in a conference, so you're not going for you know what I mean? It's a tough one, I would think.
Yeah, it is, but also, it's a region and a school that is built upon pride in who they are and where they're at. And it's a tough place for, opponents to go and play. Look, if you're looking at BYU, I believe the line sits right now -2.5. I'm going to roll with BYU here. That's nothing against Virginia whatsoever, but I'm going to go with the Cougars just because it's kind of one of those a pride game, so to say. And I'm not one to bet on emotion or anything like that. And you look at Virginia, they're 5-2 against the spread on the road. They're 67% against the spread on the road, 5-2 overall, so 71%. They're a good betting team. But you know what? Sometimes there are just really weird, odd matchups, and this is one of them. So, yeah, give me the Cougars at home. As long as it's under 3, I'll ride with them.
Okay. Yeah, because Broncos going back. He's complained about having to make that trip, especially they still have the conference in front of them, and all of that. Yeah. But I am curious about, because Virginia's quarterback, Brennan Armstrong, his numbers are pretty ridiculous. You're looking at, if you put just his numbers, Bryce Young's numbers, and maybe Corral, you put up numbers, and he's right there in the Heisman conversation, but yet I don't feel like he's really predominantly in the Heisman conversation, right? Why is that? Where is this? Where are we in the Heisman convo right now?
Well, I'll tell you this. Where we are is usually we know pretty much who's going to win it by now. Yeah. We can't even tell you who's in the room right now. That's how crazy that this college football season has been. But you know what? I'll give you a perfect example, Don, because you're exactly right. He's a heck of a quarterback. His stats are just bludgeoning people. They really look good. Virginia, overall, their athletic program, that is an excellent athletic school.
Yes, it is.
You go across the board, football, basketball, baseball. They play excellent sports across. But nobody ever really gives them credit. You know what I mean? Because it's not flashy. Basketball, it's heavy defense-oriented. It's just not something that grabs attention. But you know what? Sometimes that can be good, man. But for a Heisman, when you're trying to win a Heisman, like flash is good. Having Lane Kiffin on your side is good.
Yes.
It gets people's attention. So, yeah, I'm with you. They're a much better team than people give them credit for. And he's a much better quarterback than people know.
Titans at Colts, AB.
Yeah. Big one, boy. Let me say this, man. Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Because the Colts know they lose this game, AFC South done.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are going to put out on a wrap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the Colts, I'll give them credit. That monsoon game Sunday night, they came in averaging 27.6 points per game in their last three. And you know what? The number got better.
Yeah.
Like, the Colts are like a 401k in the sense of you throw a couple bucks in there, every 2 weeks or so when you get paid. And it doesn't really look like much, but after 60 minutes or 60 years, you look up, you're like, oh, wow, that actually worked. Like, we got to 30 points. Like, they're playing good football right now, and they mirror the Titans very, very much. These offenses are two pretty identical teams.
Right.
So, I say all that to say this. The Titans opened as an underdog. I know they're the betting favorite, -1 right now, but we count them as an underdog, at least in the open. Mike Vrabel is the most dangerous human being on the planet when his team is an underdog. They've been underdogs 3 times this year. Not only have they covered all 3, they've outright won all 3. Great. Seahawks, the Bills, and the Chiefs. Give me the Titans right now. This offense is rolling. The defense is rolling. They're balanced. They're feeling it. Yeah, give me the Titans.
Real quick on that, why are they underdogs?
Well, because the Colts are a very balanced team too, and they're playing their absolute best football right now. I know that it's not always pretty with Carson Wentz, but they get the job done. Jonathan Taylor on the ground is running for about 100 yards a game. Like, this team is just like the Titans in how they're built. The Titans are just better at it. But you're going to see an absolute mirror between offense and defense Sunday. I'm telling you, these two teams are almost identical.
I love that. And then real quick before we let you go, AB, got to give us something on the World Series. Brent's down there right now. He gave us a little bit about the atmosphere, but of course he stumbled across the tickets and he's staying in the Braves hotel. But this is a great stumble. He stumbled all the way to Houston. But what you got on it?
Well, I was going to say, usually when I stumble, it's over in county jail, right? Good. It's good to be the mayor. Good for Brent. I know he's a big Astros guy.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I like the Braves tonight on the road because you look at the total of 8, it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Braves are throwing Charlie Morton out there. He faced the Astros last year in the ALCS twice, didn't give up a single run, and you're looking at an Atlanta Braves team that already has a potent lineup, and they get to add another bat because of the DH tonight. So I'm going to roll with the Braves tonight. You could get them 1.5 on the run line. You have to pay a little juice for it. But, yeah, give me plus 130. I think they get the job done.
Alan, I'm never betting again without talking to you. I bet this morning, thinking I could get ahead of it, and you just crushed my entire dream right there. But thank you. I'm going to.
Well, I would hold off on that. I also said to bet Missouri against Tennessee, so let's calm down.
This is true. This is true.
Back to life on that one.
Hey, it's all a crapshoot. But if you want good information, Alan Bell has it at AlanBell247 on Twitter. He will answer any question you have. Alan Bell with CBS Sportsline, presented by Genesis Auto Brokers. Start the easiest car buying experience at GenesisAutoBrokers.com. AB, always good to chat with you. Thanks for the info today. We appreciate you.
Thanks, AB.
Hey, y'all are the best. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, coming up after the break.
Oh, yeah, my time.
It's your time. It's the Miller Lite Wash Away Toast.
Yes.
You're heading home from work. Stop by.
There we go.
Somebody's ready. Stop by Buffalo Wild Wings. We are here in Spring Hill live. Chester Rogers going to be here in about 15 minutes. You can chat with him after the show. You can get pictures and autographs. Come on out to our Titans Feast here with Buffalo Wild Wings. Have some dinner. You don't have to clean up the kitchen. Cannot beat that. And come say hi to us. Miller Lite's Wash Away Toast is next on 3HL.
Vrabel was a little salty after the win in his press conference, too. He's trying to keep everyone focused, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do that. He mentioned, too, I don't think he was very happy with how many Buffalo and Chiefs fans were in there.
Yeah.
And he made that clear as well. He's got his eye on the prize. And I thought the Titans said it well. And I guess it was Byard who I specifically saw the comment attributed to, Don. The Titans didn't win anything yesterday. They won a ball game. That's it. It's the same as if you beat Jacksonville or if you beat Houston or if you beat Miami. It doesn't make any difference. They won a ball game. Now, that was the two-time defending AFC champion. It's a big deal for the fans. It was fun. It was exciting. But they want more. And they realize if they're going to get more, they've got to keep getting better.
We are in Spring Hill. If you are, hi guys, I love Spring Hill. I like the energy. Just had
building.
Yes, they're in the building.
Yeah.
We just had a gentleman walk by and said, "You just have the most energy of any human ever."
Hey, man,
talking about Ron Slay.
that
I'm
is
like,
great.
you have no idea. You have no idea.
just
You
see
don't
it right
even
now.
see all the behind the scenes with this dude. He has it, which is perfect timing for our Miller Lite Wash Away Toast.
Yes.
That we do every single Tuesday at Buffalo Wild Wings, thanks to our partners at Miller Lite there, who provide everybody with their beautiful Miller Lights in these cool cups.
And these some
too.
great cups. Like I'm collecting them.
Yes, you are,
Like,
because I just turned mine down for today, and you're like, I'll take hers.
Yeah, I'll take hers every single time. If y'all can bring me a bucket Miller Lite, I'll take a bucket and do the toast there. So.
All right, so everybody out here is ready. I'm gonna come stand next to you, Slay, so I can put the microphone next to you. I hope you practiced on this one. You ready? Nope. All right. Nope.
No practice.
Miller Lite Wash Away Toast. Ron Slay, hit it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Miller Lite for giving us these brews to wash away this victory. And this victory wash away is not only for the Titans, but more so for the fans. With it being a short week and coming out in droves, Buffalo trying to invade our city, Kansas City trying to invade our city, and all of them went home sad. Right? And that's the way we want to send them home every single time. This time, we got to get ready for the Colts, but before we can do that, we got to wash it away. So put your cups up if you got them. If you got water, put that up too. On 3, tighten up and wash it away. 1, 2, 3.
The silence is always my favorite. As everybody finishes it. Good stuff, Ron Slay. I like it. This is a very important wash away because you heard AB. You finish that before you put the microphone back up there, please.
I like it.
You,
Don't you like when I burp in the mic?
I was waiting for the burp. I'm waiting for that big.
I had like
burp.
5 of them. I had 5 miniatures.
He luckily put the mic down on the table, so you didn't have to hear all that. Yes, but this is an important wash away.
Yes, it is.
Because you heard AB talking about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, this Colts game is massive when you look at the AFC South. I mean, this is a way to put them away.
Yeah. And I think Coach Vrabel echoed exactly what we were talking about. We haven't done anything. When he was at the podium, like, don't give us any flowers or anything. Give us exactly what we're looking for. And that's a scouting report on the next team. So with this team, take it, Babs.
He's eyes are watering.
I had to get the burp in.
No, Slay, keep going. Keep going.
No, I couldn't hold it
You're
in
on
no
your own,
more.
Slay. Keep it going.
Hey, man.
Keep it
Chester
going.
Rogers just walked in the building, so that gave me time
in
to
the
pause.
building.
He's in the building. So this is what I'm saying. You heard Vrabel wash it away. They get away with it quickly, man, and move on to the next thing. And that's what you try to erase from this, not only the Titans franchise, but from the fans as well. Like, I'm coming into the season, I'm thinking, man, this is what the Titans do. They go into a big-time opponent, guns are blazing, wipe them out the way, and then you go to a Jets matchup. So in order to not have that letdown, this is what you got to do. You got to wash it away.
Big one. We just washed it away, courtesy of Miller Lite.
Yeah.
We will chat with Chester Rogers. He is in the building.
Most
If you want to
definitely in
come
the
out and
building.
say hi, Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill, come join us. We would love to see you. We're going to talk with Chester coming up after this break. You are listening to 3HL on 104.5 The Zone.
he is shook through 7 weeks of the NFL season because he can't stay upright. He can't make these spectacular plays that he is accustomed to making over the course of his career in the NFL because he has Bud Dupree and Danico Autry in his face mask in 2 seconds. They rebuilt that offensive line this offseason, and it's not doing the things that they needed to fix. It's better at run blocking than it is at pass protection. And the Chiefs don't really run the ball like that. There was a point in time at halftime, they had like 55 net. No, it was at the 2-minute warning. Forgive me. The 2-minute warning. They had 55 net yards of offense. And that's not just a credit to Shane Bowen. It's a credit to the defensive coaching staff. It's a credit to the players on defense. It is a credit to that unit as a whole from top to bottom because in the last 6 days, they have put on 2 kick-ass performances. And this is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly what it needs to look like in all 3 phases if you consider yourself a legitimate Super Bowl contender, not just a team that can win the division, because we know they can do that.
running resistance.
You had to put a
here.
bulletproof vest on,
That's
Kirby.
right. Yes. Hey, welcome in. We are
No
live
taekwondo.
in Spring Hill. Come see us. We got a decent crowd out here.
Very good crowd.
Come see us here in Spring Hill at Buffalo Wild Wings. Dawn Davenport alongside Ron Slay.
Hey.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. Hey,
Uh-huh.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
Our fearless leader, Brent Doherty, is in the building in Houston getting
He's
ready
an
for
ace-time.
tonight's World Series game. But that's okay. We have replaced him with somebody better.
Oh yeah, we got a new leader, a fearless leader.
We got a better thirdsome right
Yeah,
now.
man. Killing it, man.
Chester Rogers is also in the building. Tennessee Titans wideout. Chester, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
We are glad to have you. Lots to talk about.
You know what though, Babs? Real quick before.
that's right. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Like, this
We have to do
introduction
it
gotta
right.
be like the crowd ain't into it. Like we need all attention. We need all hands on deck, man.
There we
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a big round of applause. We got Chester Rogers in the building. See, now we're getting somewhere.
That's the energy.
You
That's
feel
the
what I'm
energy we
saying?
need.
You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. That's what
much
we're looking
better.
for. Now we can get into it, Babs.
All right. Well, first of all, how are you feeling health-wise? Where are you right now?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I missed last week, but I'm trending in the right direction. So I'm just excited to get back out there with the guys.
That is.
Frustrating is it? I mean, people don't realize what a grind this season is, this league is, the physicality of this game. How frustrating is it when you can't go?
That's the
during
worst
week?
part, you know, especially when we're doing great. I want to be out there with my guys, but, you know, it's a part of the league. Injuries are. So it's all about how you bounce back and take care of your body. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing everything I can to get back.
All right, Chester, I'm not going to lie. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good about this Titans game on Sunday. I'm like, they're coming off the Monday night emotional game against the Bills. Like, what a freaking win. Short work week. Oh, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
It's the Chiefs. Like, I believe in this team, but there's no way they're going to get it done. And you guys freaking get it done.
Yeah, we got it done. We believed in ourselves. You know, any given Sunday, man, we feel like we can go out there and beat anybody. As long as we stay together and stick to the game plan that Braves and the coaching staff gives us.
Now, let me say this, too, real quick, Chester. My bad, Babs. Not only did I believe in y'all, I bet on y'all the money line. I bet on the under. I bet on the spread. I bet on everything. So this is back-to-back weeks, man. I'm pulling for y'all. Y'all came through for me. I'm ready to rock with y'all. So don't think, that we ain't all rocking with you.
Double down, bro.
Yeah, but she usually roll with it. Yeah, double down every time, baby.
I usually do. I just
Yes, you
knew
do.
that was a tough one coming off a short work week.
Right.
Explain how tough that is from a preparation standpoint. Obviously, as far as getting bodies healthy on a short work week, but what went into the prep for this one against Kansas City?
The biggest thing, especially in the NFL, when you got a short work week, it's a mental aspect. It's more mental than anything, just locking in because we don't get those full speed reps when we're trying to get guys back. So we just got to lock in and, stick to the game plan. That's the biggest part on short weeks.
Where is this team mentally right now? Because and I think we see this across the NFL really more this year than we have in the past, where the Titans team that you saw in week one actually isn't really what the Titans team is right now. And you see that, the Colts team that you guys saw last time, that's not the Colts team that you're seeing right now. Carson Wentz is playing good ball, So where is this team mentally where you were at the beginning of the season to where you are now?
I think through the losses we had and just the trials and tribulations, we figured out who we are. And right now we're just validating it. It's not a fluke. It's not, just a one-time thing, and that's the biggest thing for us, just validating it. Just like you said, nobody's the same team they are in September. Who they're going to be in December. The following month. So yeah, we just gotta keep building, man. We're not the same team. I feel like we're close. The locker room is great. The chemistry, the energy. So we're in a good place.
It looks like it, man. When you watching the game, especially like if you're able to get to the Titans game and watch you guys warm up early, you see you guys moving as a unit, communicating, having fun, and that I think that's missing a lot of times when you get into the season, especially this part of it, when you're trying to get over the hump, and once you see the playoffs and things like that, you can go full steam ahead. But to get through this part, you got to be able to lock in and have a little fun, man. Tell me about what y'all leaders, Julio and AJ, bring to that locker room.
Man, man, they bring so much to the locker room, you know, just from their personality, the way they work on the field. And not just them, man. We got so many great leaders.
Exactly.
Kevin Byard, Jeff Simmons, Ryan Tannehill. The list goes on. So just leaning on those guys, you know, especially our younger guys, just seeing how they work, you know, I think they're great examples. And I try to be an example, too, you know, being in my 6th year. So it's crazy that I'm a vet now, man.
27-year-old, 28-year-old vet, man.
Man, it's crazy.
That's big time, though, man. And you saw it. You saw it from all facets. You saw it from being on the team, having to work your way on the team and things of that nature.
Right.
What do you say to the guys that, you know, are on the cusp and knocking on the door? You got guys like Dez Fitzpatrick, Racing McMath. You saw Mason Kinsey come back up.
Right.
And like what do you give those guys advice? I know it's a dog-eat-dog world, but you know what I mean? There's nothing like being able to rely on somebody for info.
Absolutely. I feel like, you know, going into the year 6, the leadership role has changed for me. You know, like those guys actually come to me and I give them all the advice because I've been in their position. So I just tell them, like, don't try to compare your journey to anyone else's. Like, your journey is your journey. You got to figure it out. You got to figure your routine and figure out your place in this league. And once you figure that out, you can just go full speed and stop thinking about everything. So, yeah, man, anytime those guys come to me, I'm all, you know, whatever I can help.
Yeah.
Chester Rogers with us, number 80 on the back, but number 1 in our hearts here. Let's talk about journey and your journey. For those that don't know, 27 years old, Chester Rogers, undrafted free agent out of Grambling State University, undrafted with the Colts back in 2016. So let's kind of go back and just talk about your draft process and you're making it to the next level and what that was like from a Grambling State and getting the attention and the eyes and the opportunity and the chance to do what you're doing now.
Well, honestly, I felt like my journey to Grambling prepared me for everything. What people don't know, I walked on to Grambling State. I didn't have a scholarship. Yeah, I didn't have a scholarship. Everything fell through for me, you know, my senior year. The year before that, I broke both of my jaws. So, like, I had a lot of things going on. So I walked on to Grambling, and I feel like it prepared me for going undrafted. I was already, you know, mentally ready for whatever. And once I felt like I got my foot in the door, I was good, you know, because I knew I was going to outwork anybody, you know, that was in front of me. You know, that was just my mindset. I didn't have time for mistakes. I didn't have the, you know, it was just different for me. You know what I mean? So just like I said, like, that Grambling experience, man, it prepared me for this.
That's dope right there, man. I didn't know that part. Like, I done followed you outside of that, but that's pretty cool.
Walk on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Undrafted.
Yeah. Like, it's a story in this now.
Underdog, man.
For sure.
I mean, so have you been the chip on your shoulder kind of guy your whole life?
Always. That's why, so, like, anything that happens, man, like I said, I've been through worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I missed all of last year because of a knee injury. You know what I mean? Like, it's been so many different obstacles in my life and my journey that nothing surprises me now. So I'm just taking advantage. I'm grateful. I'm happy to be here.
So how did you end up undrafted free agent with the Colts? How did that entire process go? And when you found out that you were going to get a chance?
Yeah, it happened on draft night. But, I mean, I had a great pro day. You know, my senior year, I had a pretty good season. But my pro day and just different things like that, I got the attention of the Colts. And I had a lot of teams. I did my pro day at Louisiana Tech because we didn't have it at Grambling State. They didn't come there. So I had to travel over to Ruston, Louisiana. Like I said, I had a great pro day. There was probably 20 to 25 NFL teams out there. And like I said, the Colts were one of the ones that stuck with me from the beginning. And at the end of draft night, I had the Giants, the Jets, and the Colts.
Okay.
For me, it was a no-brainer to go out there with Andrew Luck. So I took the advantage, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not going Jets, right? a kid from Huntsville, Alabama, probably not.
Look, man.
Let me choose wisely on this one. You got Coach Prime at the HBCU now. I grew up in the HBCU, didn't go there, but I grew up in it as a ball boy for basketball, football at Tennessee State University. So the light that Coach Prime, even though Grambling had its own tradition, as TSU does, Jackson State the same, but Coach Prime being there and being able to shine this light on it like it is now on the HBCU community.
And Eddie.
And
George,
Eddie George as well. Yeah, like, what does that do? Like, so now you don't necessarily have to travel to La Tech or something like that to go get a pro day. Exactly. What does that do being able to shine the light on them?
It's crazy because I was just talking in my group message to my friends today. We were saying how amazing what, you know, Prime is doing. Coach Sanders. Right. I call him Coach Sanders.
Coach Sanders.
what he's doing. And we were
He
saying
prefers
like,
Coach Prime, apparently.
Coach Prime.
Yeah, Coach Prime is cool for him.
Coach
Yeah.
Prime.
That's what he told everybody.
Yeah, that's why. You believe me? I'm in tune with it. I wouldn't dare get up there and say
I seen
Deion.
the interview, man. He
Yeah,
got
yeah,
mad, so.
exactly. Exactly. I'm the same way. Yeah.
But like I said, what he's doing, man, putting the HBCUs in the spotlight, man, that they deserve. I feel like every kid just needs a chance. You know,
Right.
We were saying that we believe their pro day is going to look like an SEC pro day this year. So I'm excited to see it, man. I think he's going to do an amazing thing there.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get more into your journey and some off the field stuff that man, you're fun. I'm excited about our next segment.
Let's
Get
do it.
the Titans fans to really get to know Chester Rogers, and then of course we will also talk ball. We'll talk about this impressive wide receivers room and some of that leadership in that room as well. That's all coming up after a quick break right here on 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Come see us. We are live at Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill. Come say hi to Chester, get a picture, get an autograph, and come eat some wings. Yum. Wings and tots. That's my jam. Stick around. We'll be right back after this.
I guess, Teresa, man, of all the games Vrabel has coached in his short time here, I guess you want to call it that, as a head coach, this may have been, in my mind, maybe the best game. Just kind of take us through and recall, do you think this was the best showing in a Titans game as Vrabel as the head coach?
Well, it's certainly up there, right? I mean, they've had wins in the regular season over the Patriots, the Eagles, and they've had some, the win against the Chiefs 2 years ago, but that was, they had to win that blocking a kick and making some last-second plays. Even the game against the Bills a week ago, they have a fourth down stop to help seal that win, but from start to finish, they start the game off scoring 14 points in the first quarter, 27-0 lead at halftime, and then they get the defense puts a final, they literally knock Patrick Mahomes out of the game, and then get a final turnover just when it looked like maybe the Chiefs would go score a garbage time touchdown, and even that they stopped. So, and then as I mentioned, no issues with kickers. I mean, they've had some good games over these last 2-3 years, but how many issues? Maybe there's an extra point that's missed or field goal that's missed. that when Kevin Byard says that he thinks it's the most complete game that they've played since he's been a Titan, it's tough to disagree with that right now.
Crazy it is at Buffalo Wild Wings. Kirby is dancing in front of the table.
It's live,
Kirby.
Baby. It's live. Not only Kirby is live, though. The crowd has been live, man. Spring Hill came out. We expected it, but it's even better to see it, man.
I don't
Chester
know,
Rogers
though.
is in the building.
I don't know.
You think they're a little low?
I think Hendersonville was
Hendersonville was rocking.
was a little more
Hendersonville was rocking. Like
Yeah.
it was star-studded. You know what I mean? But just give it a second. I think we might tap out in here in just a second.
All right, welcome back in. This is 3HL. Dawn Davenport alongside Ron Slay. Brenton Doherty, the mayor, is off, but that's okay. We got Chester Rogers here
Even
in
better.
the building as well. Somebody just hit us on Twitter and said Chester Rogers sounds like Ludacris. Have you ever got that?
I've never. That's the first. That's the first. Okay.
Well, there you go.
Luda.
Yes. All right, so I talked about this a little bit before we went to break, just kind of jumping into your background. And as, I find out you're on the show with us, so I kind of go and stalk you and do some research and all this. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, this dude was a child actor. Like you were in movies and a big deal growing up. What in the world? I mean, if from Huntsville, Alabama, it's not like you were born and raised in LA or something.
Right.
So how did this all happen? You got to fill us in on the details of your life as a child actor.
All right, so how it happened, I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I was watching the news with my parents, and the first movie I ever did was Constellation. It was with Billy D. Williams, Gabrielle Union.
Billy D.
Hill Harper. I'm talking about the list is crazy.
That is
Gabrielle Union?
Yeah. Hill Harper was a cold one too,
Yeah, so they had put out open auditions on the news. My parents, I'm a character. I'm a class clown. They asked that I want to do it. I'm like, absolutely. Let me go up there. I go to the audition. I kill it. I've never taken acting classes, nothing.
Right.
I just go up there and be myself.
Right.
I got the first role, my first role, which was the young Billy D. Williams. So in all of the flashbacks, I was young Billy D. Williams. And I remember it like yesterday. It was my first scene. My first scene ever was with Gabrielle Union and Billy D. Williams. I'm in the back of the car, and I'm like, this is crazy. Right? This is like, I don't even, 1 minute I'm, in school, 5th grade, and next moment I'm in the car with Billy D. Williams, Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
Right after that, after I did the movie, the producers and director, like, they told my mom, you got to get this kid out to L.A. Like, we don't know what you got to do. Whatever you got to do, just get out there.
Yeah.
Take him out there and see what happens. My mom, she did it. She took me.
Y'all moved? You picked up and moved to LA?
Like my dad stayed with my brother because he was in school, going to high school. And we just went out there and took a chance. And, man, I landed, a few roles, commercials.
Wow.
I mean, it was.
This is unbelievable.
Now, what you got to understand, people and listeners, like, I lived in L.A. You don't understand or have any earthly idea how many people you're going to meet that'll pick up and move. Like
my brother.
Yeah, like
my brother lived there as I say struggling actor for 10 years.
But when you make it like that, that's a testament to will, everything. Like, there's so many people that are down there on Skid Row and everything that are people that didn't get to make it, like to get that extra role, or waiters and trying to get jobs and living out of, your mom hard for that.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Nobody but God just giving my mom,
Yeah.
man. She sacrificed everything for my dream to go out there. And,
That's dope.
Yeah, so
that's dope.
That's pretty cool. So, and now you're an NFL player. Like, are you kidding me? You want to talk about like the two hardest freaking careers to get a break in, to have a chance, and you've done both of them. So. So how did you end up back in Huntsville? Because you went to high school back in Huntsville, Alabama. So you were out in California for a while. You did some roles. How'd you end up back in Alabama?
Okay, so I give the story. I really haven't given this story publicly, but I give the story.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Here we go, Jim.
After Constellation, I want to say 3 to 4 movies. I did a movie on Cartoon Network. I did a movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. called Dirty.
Yep.
What was the next one? Oh, and I did Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's Medea's Family Reunion.
My son loved it.
So I did those. The next role that I got was Everybody Hates Chris. I was Chris, and Everybody Hates Chris. So I was originally casted for Everybody Hates Chris.
Wow.
Signed the contract and everything. As we're doing everything, they go back and recast everything. So Tyler James, the kid that plays, he wasn't the original. I was the original Everybody Hates Chris.
Dang.
Like I said.
Oh my gosh.
So after that role, I was still in it. My mom, she was let down because we were so close. That was the big one.
Yeah.
Y'all know how everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be talking to you
No,
right now.
we would not.
You would not be a Tennessee Titan.
No.
Right.
You wouldn't be catching passes from Andrew Luck and Ryan Tannehill in your career. Like, that would be a completely different life.
That's crazy.
So that was the first strike. I'm not going to say strike. That was the first one. So, again, I stayed out there. I did some more. And towards the end, the last role I got, the same thing happened. So I don't know if you ever seen House of Pain.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's House of Pain.
Yeah.
I was the son, the chubby kid.
Yep.
I was the son. The same exact thing happened. I got casted. We did the So like how they do it when they cast everybody, they bring all the families on set and they want to look at them, see how they fit.
Right.
It didn't really fit. Like they didn't, they really didn't fit. So they recasted everything, and that was the last straw. And I was like, well, you know what, Mom? I just want to go back and be a kid again, see my friends, and then we'll give it another try. I got good at football, and now I'm here. I never went back to LA. So
that is amazing.
That's
amazing.
That's the story.
Hey man, like
wow.
See that didn't do it. That didn't do anything but harden you up for this journey that you're on now.
Absolutely.
Like that's like, oh my man, you just brought back memories just because we're like to go undrafted and go that way, go that journey. And to go through that as a young kid, to be right there. Like, people don't understand, man, as an athlete, it's so many times, like, you do everything right in the franchise. You right there. All they didn't do was give you the pen and pad and tell you sign the contract.
Absolutely.
But you did everything else. You own the team. I can't even explain it. But, man, to go through that as a kid and then go through your journey now, that's why you mentally different.
Yeah.
You different, dude.
That right there, that journey, in my acting career really prepared me for this. Like you said, I'm 9 and 10 years old, and I'm getting no's, I'm getting yeses, I'm getting no's.
Man,
You gotta really mentally be in a different place.
Jeez, no wonder you punt return. All the people coming down here, man, the ball in the air.
Confidence.
I don't know what's going on. Confidence. Exactly.
Confidence is everything.
That's it, man.
What does that feel like, though?
What, the punt return?
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's confidence and
Everybody's coming to get you.
But it's fun. I don't know if I sound crazy or not, but it's really fun.
Man, listen, he's the second person I heard say that, man. Pac-Man said the same thing. Like, if for him, it's,
Okay.
Exactly, but
it's a different mentality.
Yeah, but
that's it.
But at the same time, it's the same. You know what I'm saying? Because he said the same thing, and Chester, he don't fair catch a lot either. Like, he catching it to try to go somewhere with it. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of people with eyes on you, man. You got to be different. You got to be different, man.
It's like the game. It's like the game we used to play as kids. You just throw the ball up.
Pick up Smith. You know?
That's exactly what punt return is for me. So I'm like a kid again back there. So it's
what
fun.
did you
Crazy. We call it in Tennessee, pick up the Smith.
So
Smith. Some people call it smear the other thing, but yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
Just pick up the Smith.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Come on, Babs. Don't get me fired.
Sorry.
Don't get me fired.
No.
Don't.
I need just like.
I mean, she asked me. I got to tell her.
Yes, you do. All right. Coolest person that, well, you've already listed a bunch of cool actors and actresses, but coolest person that you've ever worked with, come across, had conversation with, what stands out in your memory?
Man, I got a list. I don't want to just. It's unfair.
Hey man, listen, Chester. Flex, man.
It's a list.
Flex, man. It's cool.
Not even boasting. I don't want to.
No, I want to hear them all.
Yeah,
Everybody
and don't
wants to hear them
we
all.
want the facts, man. It ain't. That's not your fault, dude.
Yeah.
It wasn't your fault when they told you no.
You're right.
You told us that part, so give it to us.
The ones I most cherish right now, because I didn't really get to appreciate it as a kid, but the conversations I had with Cicely Tyson and Maya Angelou.
Wow.
On the set of Madea's Family Reunion, they, that was different. You know what I mean? So those conversations, I would say Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, Cuba Gooding Jr. An interview I did with the coach, I was talking about it in my apartment complex. So this apartment complex I stayed was right by my middle school, but it was where all the actors would come,
You remember the name of the school?
Yeah, Valley View Middle School.
Okay, all right.
And my apartment complex was the Oakwood Apartments. And like I said, everybody would come there because it was short term. You might come 6 months out the year, stay there. So like I said, I'd be in the grocery store and I see Rick James. It was the craziest thing ever. But it was so regular. Like any given day you could see a celebrity. So yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, that's fun. Okay, so football now. Back to football. You head back to Alabama. You mentioned in the last segment that you broke both of your jaws. Was that your senior year of?
That was my junior summer, going into my senior year.
Okay. What happened there, and how did it all end up?
So it's called 7-on-7. This was back when 7-on-7 was just really getting started.
Yeah.
So we didn't wear helmets.
Huge now.
It's huge. We didn't wear helmets. We didn't wear protective gear. We were just out there. I was on defense. I play offense. I was on defense. And they did a crossing route. and I ran face to face with my defender. His forehead went into my jaw. So therefore, I broke both my jaws. I had wires and screws and plates all in my mouth right now. So I was wired down for 6 weeks. I had to eat out of straw. You know.
Did you lose weight?
I lost so much weight.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
That's crazy.
So that was going into my senior year. Right, you know, at the pinnacle of like your recruiting, like the coaches are coming out, spring football.
Yeah.
I'm not there, so like my interest just went all the way down from what I had. That's why I said, like, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, I didn't have any scholarships.
So you had 0 offers coming out of high school.
I had some, but I didn't take them because you know I was thinking, you know, I'm gonna get the SECs, right? So that whole situation.
Yeah.
Then I had to just go walk on.
Wow.
Huntsville, man.
Our producer lives in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Joe
Yes.
Honk, yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Still,
He commutes to
yeah.
Nashville every day.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
there you go. Okay, so let's talk about just kind of your journey now into the NFL and then talk about this this wide receivers room. But you mentioned Andrew Luck. You decide on the Colts as an undrafted free agent. Were you surprised that he left the way he did? I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but when I saw that you played with him, I was like, I wonder if he knew or was surprised or knew it was coming, because he's kind of like you. Like, there's a lot of interest outside of football for him too.
Me and Andrew got really close. Me, Andrew, and T.Y. Hilton. Like, we were really close. So when I first found out, I found out probably two weeks before it actually happened. I kind of like knew, so I was prepared, you know, for when it happened, the night of it happened. But I was surprised. But at the same time, I understood. You know, he had dealt with so many injuries, and he just had his daughter, and like you can't blame a man for wanting to be with his daughter. You know what I mean? Like, have his health for that. So I didn't feel no type of way. I was excited for him. I'm happy for him. I just talked to him probably 3 weeks ago. Him and T.Y. FaceTimed me, and we just caught up, and it was like old times.
What were they together?
They were together because T.Y., you know, he had a neck injury.
Yeah.
So Andrew went over there to have dinner with him and, you know, see how he felt. They FaceTimed me. So
That's dope.
it made my day.
Dope. So do you didn't somebody give a salute? Was that a salute to T.Y.?
Yeah, that was a salute. That's my best friend.
That's pretty dope,
man.
man. That's what's up.
That's my best friend. He taught me so much.
Yeah.
You know, just learning of him for 4 years. So a lot of people thought I was throwing a shot at him.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
yeah. See, that's
Absolutely
a lot
not.
of athletes know that, man. I used to do that when I was watching my partners, and they would do something on TV, and I'd be like, that was me. And they think other people think it's a shot, but
What you mentioned learning from him. What was the biggest thing that you picked up from your game or from his game that you used? What, like, on the football field, what'd you learn from him?
I would say football IQ. T.Y. is one of the smartest football players I've ever been with, him and Andrew. But because T.Y. is not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but he knows just how to find the hole, you know, the zones, just so many different little nuances that you got to know in this league. And I learned that from
he's
him.
a Titans killer.
Absolutely.
yeah. Well,
You talked to him this week? I don't know.
Yeah, I talked to him 2 days. As a matter of fact, yesterday I talked to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to call him.
So do you use that looking ahead? But you guys got to match up against the coach. You being a former coach, do you use that as motivation? If you're out there, you get an opportunity, you know where to kind of sit down in plays or of their zones or whatever it may be. You got anything that you use that nobody else would know that you could share in the wide receiver room with the other guys or no?
As far as against the coach?
Yeah, it was against the coach. Yeah.
I mean, the Tennessee Titans, they play them, you know, twice a year, every year. So I think they know a little bit, but I mean, we know what to expect from the coach. Like I said, I was there for 4 years.
Right.
We're a big zone team. So, like I said, we got the game plan ready for them.
Yeah, that is, no doubt. Hey, I want to be able to dive into a little bit of the things off the field. Can we do that?
Oh, you gonna put him in the boom boom room?
I think we may need to put him in the boom boom room. You
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You
All
want
right.
to do it now, or you want to do it when we come back?
I mean, we could take it
Do it
now
now.
and lead it. Yeah, let's go.
Do it now.
Okay, this
Okay.
is what it is.
Yeah, you got to explain it to him. By
I
the
am.
way, he's not nervous at all. Like,
No,
most
this is
of
like,
the
man,
guests are like the boom boom.
This man have been in front of casting.
Yeah.
GMs. Like this ain't nothing, man.
By the way, your actor name was Trey, right?
Trey Rogers.
Yes. Okay. So if anybody is like,
I'm
I
the
am.
third, so I go by Trey.
Okay. Oh,
Chester
that
Rogers.
makes
Chester
sense.
Rogers
I
is
like
third.
that.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
anybody's like IMDb, is that it? IMDb.
IMDb,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, him. That's
Trey
his screen name. Okay, go ahead.
So here we go. We're gonna put Chester in there right now. So Chester Rogers, the only way you get out of the boom boom room is if you tell the truth to the best of your ability, and the door will be unlocked if you're able to exit. If not, you cannot get out of the boom boom room. You're locked in there for life, and it's a problem.
Okay.
All right, do you agree to these terms?
Let's do it.
Honk, put them in.
Let's do it.
Let's go, baby.
Ah, yes. One man on his way into the boom boom room.
This is scary, man.
Oh, yeah, it's real. All right. Chester, you are in the boom boom room. The door is locked. Brought to you by Low T Center. Here we go. Tell me, out of your movies that you were able to play in and even cast for, which one was your favorite set to be on?
Favorite set to be on, Dirty.
Okay.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
Yep.
The reason being, why?
Reason being, you would have to go watch the movie to really see why. But just interacting with him, he's a different character, man.
Was this the movie that it was like filmed in Arizona or Texas or something? Where was it?
No, this is in L.A. This is like Long Beach.
All right.
And it was with dirty cops. He was a dirty cop. It was kind of like Training Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to go see my character to understand why.
So I'm going to watch it tonight, and I'm going to tweet you and try to figure out what's going on. Okay. All right, check this out. Tell me what guys like leaving the game on Friday night. What would this song mean to you? You got this ready for you, Honk?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I totally dropped the ball on this.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you,
come
Honk.
on, Honk.
I called you and told you about it. Yeah, so you're like, how in the boom boom room can you do this, man? Like
he seriously did. And then honestly, I totally forgot that you were going to put him in the boom boom room. So I was.
How do you?
So you got to go to the boom boom.
Yeah, you feel, man.
You got to go to the boom.
And he never get out. You ain't never supposed to get out.
I'm never getting out on this because honestly, I'm trying to stall right now and I still can't find it. That's the worst part about it.
Oh, my
Check this out. Check this out.
All
Chester.
right.
Tell me what Applebee's meant to you guys after games.
Hey, I found it.
It don't mean the same.
Oh, I'm playing it.
It don't mean the same now, huh? it don't mean the same now.
All right.
So
Honk,
in
just
Huntsville,
let it play in the background.
Yeah, in Huntsville we heard
like
that.
Applebee's.
Yeah, this was the spot. Applebee's
This is
down in Huntsville.
definitely the spot.
Yeah, so like, tell me, set that atmosphere for me. What does that look like after games?
Are you serious, by the way?
Applebee's.
What about this? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was actually this Applebee's that I'm talking about. It was right by my dad's barbershop. My dad had the longest open barbershop in Huntsville, Alabama. But I mean, everybody you can think of would be in there after the game. I mean, from your cousins, brothers, aunties, everybody's at the bar. I don't know if they betted on the game, whatever it is, but that's the place to be after a game for sure.
That is. They say the line's so long.
know this?
Hey man, listen, man, I'm from the side, man. I know about everything going on
You
right
have
here.
like people
I got people everywhere, man. I got
This
people.
Applebee's was lit.
Yeah,
I'm just
I'm
going to let
telling
you
you.
know. This Applebee's was lit.
Tell you.
Absolutely.
So tell me about Only Dreamers Sleep, ODS.
Only
Tell me
Dreamers Sleep.
what does that mean to you?
Man, Only Dream of Sleep means everything to me. It started off as a family slogan that my dad made.
Okay.
Back when me and my brother was kids, and he was just like, "Only dream of sleep," and it's not like a literal form. Like obviously everybody has to sleep,
Right.
But, we all have dreams, and he was just saying like, if you want to go get something, you got to get up and work for it. You only dream of sleep. You got to get up. It's no just sitting around. I want to do this. You got to go work for it. So. Whenever, we need motivation or whenever it's time to go, we text each other ODS. Like, you know what time it is. Flip the switch.
That's big time.
Yep. And now it's a clothing line. I got a clothing line coming out. It's Only Dream of Sleep. It'll be out.
There we go.
Hopefully, first of the year.
There we go. Let us know, man. We're going to push it, man. We're going to support that without question.
I see your fashion on the
got that
Titans
going. You got that going.
socials. You got some taste there.
Yeah, I try.
Like it.
One more person I want to ask you about. We'll ask about it on the other side of another successful person coming out of Lee High School.
Yeah.
So we want to touch on. You think about who the successful person may be, and then we'll touch on the next side of this break.
That's what we call a tease in this
Okay.
business,
Yeah.
Chester.
I don't know. We got quite a few.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, all right, here we go. then. Here we go.
All right, we'll hit on that. We'll get his take on this wide receivers room and what A.J. Brown and Julio Jones do and bring. Talk about his quarterback and talk a little bit about the Colts. That's coming up right after this on 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone. Come see us. We are at Buffalo Wild Wings in Spring Hill.
So I remember, the Jets thing happens, and then you play against Jacksonville, and I remember listening to a couple of guys afterwards saying they wish they had done more. David Long came on with us right after that win, and he said, there's a couple of plays I wish I could have back and some things I want to shore up and things. But then it feels like you guys just have continued to play more and more complete. Was there a moment this season where you guys galvanized, where it started to feel a little bit different? You've been around this team for a while, where you guys really started to gel as a unit, and then yesterday, of course, played your most complete game.
Well, honestly, man, I felt like in training camp, man, I felt like this was one of the better training camps we've had as a defense. I feel like we really gelled and got close in training camp. And, you talk about the Jets game, I wouldn't say it was just a moment, but, when we break down the film and we look at ourselves as a defense, if we don't give up big plays, whether if it's in the pass game or the run game, there's not too many teams that can just drive the ball on us continuously and constantly. So I think breaking down that film kind of proved to us to say, hey, if we don't give up these big plays we did in the passing game, we played a dominant game. And I just think that it kind of was, a surefire way to shore up everything to say, hey, we don't give up big plays, and we can affect the quarterback and get after the quarterback, and we can play physical, up front and on the back end. Those are going to be recipes for us to be dominant as a defense. And I'm always trying to give daily and weekly and minutely and hourly reminders that, hey, if we continue to do these things, we could be dominant. So we proved it on Sunday.
live at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Now, see. Now, Honk, now you want to play the song.
Now you want to be on
your game. It don't even
game.
mean the same no more, Honk.
You missed
like,
the boats.
Just get off the boat.
Sleep on the job.
Get off the boat.
I mean, these Huntsville, Alabama guys, I tell you what.
Slay called me at 2 o'clock. You realize how much has happened since 2 o'clock?
Hey, man, I'm just saying,
Hey,
Honk.
excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Tools of incompetence.
We don't have any of that around here. All right, we're giving away Titans tickets to the New Orleans game. Slay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, need your attention. If you put your name in the box,
put your name in the box.
There you go. Then you just got lucky because you got tickets to the
New Orleans
Saints game.
Nolans.
Now, I'm not sure how to pronounce the first name. The last name is Cummings, so I'm gonna run through it. Tasha Cummings, Tatia Cummings, Tadia. I heard. Hey! Get up here. There we go. We got a winner. She's in the building. Now you got to tell me, how do you pronounce your first name?
Katia.
I said it. I did it right. Give me some in. That's what I'm talking. See, well-rounded, man. I've been all over the world. You see that? That brought that in. Thank you. So
yes.
you get with Christian.
Chat with
and
him.
he'll take care of you.
Congratulations. Tickets to the New Orleans game. But the Titans on the road against the Colts. First, we have Chester Rogers, Titans wide receiver, here with us. Obviously, appreciate you for being here. Before we hit the Colts on the way out, I want to talk about these wide receivers. And
let's do it.
You mentioned what you learned from Hilton. Julio Jones is a guy that there are reports out there that he is constantly trying to help develop and teach guys, and obviously a wealth of knowledge there. What has it been like to have him in this room?
Man, I mean, he's obviously, in our era, he's the GOAT. You know, Julio's the GOAT. So anything he says, you know, I know for me, I'm all ears, and I want to listen to him, figure him out, pick his brain, his work habits, you know, whatever it is I can, you know, get from Julio, I try. Same with AJ, you know, AJ being a young guy, but he's definitely, you know, he got that pedigree, same as Julio. So I got two guys, you know, on the cusp of greatness, man. I'm just learning from it.
Man, what AJ has been able to do the last 2 weeks, short work week, food poisoning. Are you kidding? Like, sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
What do you say about it? How do you describe what you're watching with AJ?
Greatness, man. That's greatness. That's, you know, no matter the adversity, no matter what comes to AJ, man, he figures a way to overcome it and, you know, perform at a high level. So yeah.
And one thing real quick, the physical mentality that you guys have, because not only do you guys go up and get catches and play physical, but the blocking, to know that you're blocking for a guy like Derrick Henry and he can break at any moment, so you got to hold your block. What goes into that, man?
That's all mindset. That's all want to. That's all will. I promise you, if you do not block for the Tennessee Titans, I don't care how good your routes is, how good your hands are, you're not playing. You know what I mean? So we already understand what we got. We got to block for 2-2.
That's
and
real.
then everything else comes after that. You know, we'll get rewarded, man. Tied down, he does a great job trying to get us the ball, you know, and reward us.
Love it, and we can't wait to see a whole lot of it against your old team, the dreaded Colts. Put that chip back on the shoulder and go get another one and make it tough in that AFC South. We appreciate you, Chester Rogers, for coming out.
Job.
You have been great. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chester Rogers.
Well, there you go. That wraps up another Tuesday on the road. 3HL and 104.5 The Zone is out.
Gone.